What's up, everyone? Today I got a silly little exercise for you that will really put your balance and coordination to the test. Throughout this entire exercise, my hands will just play single stroke eighth notes. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and my bass drum will play 4 different parts against my hands. So the first part, my bass drum will just play in unison with my hands. So every time I hit with my hands, I'm going to play the kick at the same time. Easy enough to understand, but you really want to make sure that the alignment between your snare and kick is super tight. We don't want any flams in there. For the second part, we'll displace the rhythm of the bass drum. So instead of playing on each eighth note with my hands, it's going to get laced into the 16th upbeats, the E and of every beat. So the kick will play directly in between each of my hands. To get into it, I'll still play the kick right on beat 1, just to kind of feel how the rhythm offsets, and it just makes it a little bit more challenging to do that. So the second part sounds like this. When you have those 2 parts down, try switching between them. So to demonstrate, I'll play 2 measures of the first part into 2 measures of the second part, and I'll just go back and forth a little bit. Okay, part 3. Now my bass drum is going to start playing eighth note triplets while my hands are still playing regular eighth notes. So that will create a 3 against 2 polyrhythm. There will be 3 hits on the bass drum spaced evenly against every 2 hits on the snare drum. The bass drum is only going to line up with the right hand at the beginning of each beat, and then the left hand will land directly in between the second and third kicks from each beat. So we get this kind of bop-ba-tappo, 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 bop-ba-tappo type thing going on. And it sounds like this. Part 4, we're going to displace the kick rhythm. So instead of having it play right on each beat, we're going to bump it back by a 16th triplet. So it will be, for all intents and purposes, playing the triplet upbeats, if you will. And it's going to do the same kind of thing as I did in the second part, where I will play the kick on the first beat 1 to kind of displace the rhythm. And in this instance, the bass drum will now only line up with the left hand on the and of each beat. So the fourth part sounds like this. When you have parts 3 and 4 down individually, same thing as before, try to switch between them, and to demonstrate, I will also do the same kind of thing as before. I'll play 2 measures of the regular eighth triplets on the kick into 2 measures of the displaced triplets on the kick, and then I'll just kind of toggle between those. When you're able to switch between parts 3 and 4, then it's time to link them up again with parts 1 and 2. And we could make a bit of a sequence out of all of these. So we could go from part 1 into 2, into 3, into 4, and then back from 4 into 3, into 2, into 1, and just kind of go down and up that sequence a little bit. You might be watching this and thinking, Josh, bud, what are you doing? You're only using 3 limbs. What about your hi-hat foot? That's a great point, so let's get that into the mix. Now let's try to run through this whole sequence here while keeping quarter notes with the hi-hat pedal. When both of your feet are actively playing like this, be very mindful of your posture and your balance. They kind of go hand in hand, so make sure that you're keeping your lower back nice and straight. You're kind of keeping your shoulders back a bit, just sitting up nice and tall, and keeping all your weight on your seat instead of your feet. That's pretty much all there is to it. If you practice this a whole bunch and get good at it, it should make it a lot easier to throw down some of these gnarly linear combinations where your bass drum is kind of split in between your hands while still keeping time with your left foot. And it should help you feel a little bit more balanced and centered at the drums, and will ultimately train you to play with a slightly lighter touch on your feet instead of just stomping your pedals all the time. And it might feel pretty weird at first, especially when you're cycling between all the different combinations, but stick it out. I'm sure you'll get some benefit from it in the long run. If you like what you saw in this video, check out my Patreon page. Your support grants you access to transcriptions for this video, as well as transcriptions for all my other lesson videos. And follow me on Instagram at DrumMerhar to see more videos of my playing. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time.